This is crazy, guys. Elon Musk just tweeted this out. The banking system is collapsing. Arrest Donald Trump, right? Wow. Elon Musk basically confirmed us that the financial system is collapsing as we speak, guys, because it's all about the damn banks, right? We talked about this a long time ago. That's all interconnected. Now, he's telling, this meme goes like, the banking system is collapsing, but wait a moment. Arrest Donald Trump. Wow. So is he trying to tell us that they're distracting us of something? What could it be? Interesting, don't you see? Maybe they, like, think about the timing of this, guys. The banking system is collapsing, but Donald Trump, this is what's happening with Donald Trump, right? What's the timing of that? Interesting, isn't it? Is this a distraction mechanism, right? They do one thing, they say look over here, don't look over there. So what do they not want us to look at, guys, right? Interesting. Maybe the financial system is actually collapse in collapse mode, right? So it's very fascinating stuff, guys. Let's wait and see. It's not even funny because check this out. Breaking! Mid-sized US banks ask FDIC to insure all deposits for 2 years. 2 years, you say? 2 years? Wait, this is the craziest thing. Wait, all deposits? Wait, all deposits? Okay, buddy. Number one, 2 years. That takes us to 2025, folks. Right? So if they clear or they insure all deposits for 2 years, what does that tell you? When the big one hits, the collapse, the actual collapse, there will be no insurance, guys, right? For your deposits. That's number one. Number two, we go down here, and where does that money come from, right? Buying gold miners Monday morning. Interesting. Now I'm really worried. Exactly, folks. A lot of people are getting worried here, right? Because the monster keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Again, a lot of people are talking about gold, guys. Why? Even I am going to try and buy some gold, guys, right before the collapse, right? I'm going to buy a little bit of gold. If you are buying gold, make sure you're buying physical gold. You can hold in your hands. Paper gold will be useless in a hyperinflation environment. Wow, that's an interesting tip right there, guys, right? Again, silver as well, guys. This is interesting. Boys and girls, this is not good at all. This can be seen as an indication of sustained financial stress and extreme risk in the banking industry. A potential bank run can plunge us into a severe recession, perhaps depression. It's going to be worse than that, right? We let it burn. We need new non-state controlled money. This is crazy, guys. Wow. People are actually waking up. Isn't this crazy? It sure is.
Confidence that the bank, Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe.
Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe, folks. Is it hard? Is it truly? Because buckle up, kids. Wait, nearly 200 banks at risk. Nearly 200 banks at risk for same fate as Silicon Valley Bank. Remember, if one of these banks collapses, guys, right? And if they don't bail them out, there's literally going to be a domino effect, so to speak, to all the to the rest of the banks, right? And not to mention the entire globe, guys, the entire world will burn and crash, right, and collapse. So what will happen now, though? You guys know what happened to the stock market the last 2 times this happened? Interesting. So we're seeing from different angles, guys, right? A lot of people are talking about the collapses here, right? We're in the first initial phases of it. Discount window borrowing. When this spiked up, guys, right? Look what happened in 2008, right? 2008, 29, 2008, 2009. When it skyrocketed, this chart did. What happened in the stock market and the housing market and all these other markets, guys, right? It crashed heavily, right? Plummeted. Not to mention 2020. Look what happened here, guys. 2020, right? That thing took place. Collapsed or crashed, shall we say, right? Those are all crashes, guys. The collapse is imminent, though. Then, wow, look at now, guys. 2023. Wow. It's actually engulfing the previous 2, guys, right? This one is going to be insanity when it does finally come crashing down, right? This is the craziest thing, to say the least. Wow, crazy, crazy, crazy. Bank amount borrowed, right? Wow! 2008 financial crisis, that much, they borrowed that much, guys. Week ending March 15th, 2023. It engulfed the 2008 financial crisis, guys. right? That's just crazy if that is real. It just means it's bigger this time, right? Well, they need it to be this big. Housing bubble popping is already popping in Canada, guys, right? There you guys go. So we are seeing markets implode as we speak, guys, right? Maybe we are in the middle of the collapse, so to speak. But I do believe when the actual one hits, guys, right? All markets or majority of markets will literally have a skyrocket in the opposite direction, right? And then it will crash and burn. So that's why we must prepare, guys. This is why we talk about the macroeconomic situation, because by then I won't be here, guys, right? So you guys can know what's really happening at that point in time. Then from all in talk, 5 bank failures in roughly a week, right? And then Elon Musk replies, which we'll talk about in just a bit after this video.
This banking crisis has swept in 5 bank failures. First, there was Silvergate, but everyone dismissed that because it was some weird crypto bank. Then it was SVB, but everyone sort of dismissed it because they said it was based on panicky VCs rather than a systemic problem in the banking system. Then it was Signature Bank, which got seized on Sunday, which I think utterly refuted the idea that this was just a Silicon Valley problem. Then you had First Republic, which would have been the next domino to fall if it wasn't backstopped. And then 5, you had Credit Suisse. Again, avoid an outright failure because it got backstopped by the Swiss government. So we now have 5 banks in roughly a week, and these are not small banks. Credit Suisse is a globally systemically important bank, and the other ones are top 20, top 30 type banks. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in deposits. So clearly there's a larger phenomenon going on here. And frankly, it's being caused not by like anything VCs did, because VCs are just depositors. We're just one class of depositors. And depositors are not to blame for what's going on here. What's going on is these banks have huge unrealized losses on their balance sheet, and the losses have come from the sudden spike in interest rates.
There you guys go, right? From the sudden spike in interest rates. It's all about the interest rates, guys, and that's in March 23rd, 24th, 25th, around that time frame, which is going to be very, very important because that's when the FOMC meeting is occurring, right? From Elon Musk, he then replied, the Fed is operating with way too much latency in their data. Rates need to drop immediately, guys. Wow. So Elon Musk has replied, the interest rates need to be cut down, right? Or dropped. That's so fascinating. Interesting. He wants the roaring 20s to occur, which means we go up first before the implosion takes place, right? Interesting. Don't forget, if this were to happen, the Fed cuts down, right? Interest rates and whatnot, inflation will skyrocket through the roof. Well, that sure seems like that's their game plan. From Unusual Wales, Justin, according to Bloomberg, senior White House officials have been in touch with Warren Buffett on the banking crisis, right? I'm feeling like Warren's balance might exceed $250,000. Wait, I'm actually thinking, is Warren Buffett worried at this time, right? Did he know that this was going to occur? Well, how is he feeling is the real question. Because obviously he has, if I'm not mistaken, he has a lot of money, guys, right, in fiat, in the USD, if I'm not mistaken. And he's going to, I don't know what his plan is, but I think he's waiting for the crash or the collapse to take place, and he's going to deploy it all, right? That's how the rich get richer. We told you that this from before. 80-year-old man needs the help of 92-year-old man, right? Crazy. Then, if you go to this next tweet, Warren has said, this is a different Warren, guys. This is Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren. It's no wonder the American people are skeptical of a system that holds millions of struggling student loan borrowers in limbo but steps in overnight to ensure, wow, that's interesting, that billion-dollar crypto firms won't lose a dime in deposits. Exactly, right? Wow. She's finally telling the truth, folks. But wait a moment. There's a video right here that she basically got exposed, right? Senator Elizabeth Warren asks if Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank execs would return 5-year earnings. Wow. Of course they won't, right? They got their money and now they're out. They're scot-free out, guys. They're out for scot-free, right? Warren, quote, it's time to hold the Fed accountable, do a full investigation of what they have done, and it's time to send a very strong message to bank CEOs. You're not going to be able to load up on risk in order to juice your profits, guys. Wow, she's going after the Fed. This is what we need. Warren also specifically said that the investigation has to go forward without Jerome Powell, saying he was the leader of the pack in creating this problem. Of course he was. He was bumping up the money, guys, right? And obviously interest rates at the same damn time, right? Which is obviously a very a crazy disaster. He printed so much money throughout the years. Then he was raising interest rates. Not to mention, he's about to possibly even cut rates here soon, guys. If he does, it's going to be a bigger problem. Now, last but not least, for those that still need some help, the government crashes the 3 crypto-friendly banks, then hands the assets over to the banking cartel, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, right? Which means the smaller banks are getting cannibalized, and the bigger banks are eating them up, guys, right? It's quite clear. We actually talked about, not to mention Christine Lagarde did, because Christine Lagarde that one time, the wise owl, stated that if the banks don't adopt or innovate with these new technologies, they're going to get cannibalized, right? And it's already beginning, but without implementing the new tech, guys. And soon, they have to implement these new technologies, right? Because this is where the world is heading towards. Not financial waste, not financial waste, and not financial waste. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Beware, beware, beware. But it's so fierce. Amazing it is. See ya.